So this is the second class. I want to remind everyone, this will be the second class. If you want to access the first class, kindly go to the website. I think you have already given the logins. Go to the website. The recording sessions will be there, and you can just access that recording session. Okay. And also, before starting every class, I'll be sharing this particular collaborative link in the chat box. Okay, so that you can use this if you have missed any classes or if you want to update any code. So every class I'll be doing this. So this is a collaborative link. Kindly open it. Okay. So whatever we have done in the previous class, let's have a quick recap and then we'll start with the session. Okay. In the previous class, we have learned the basics of Python, that is comments. We have learned what is a single line comment and what do you mean by multi-line comment. And also, once we have completed the comments, we have started with the print function where we have understood how to write the syntax of print function. We have also written what is the correct way to write the syntax and the wrong way to write the syntax. Then we have understood the print statement with the string, that is hello world. And also we have learned what do you mean by the variables, right? And before that, we have learned the two parameters of print function, that is the end parameter and the separator parameter. And we have also learned how to use the end parameter and what is the default value of the end parameter, and also what is the default value of the separator parameter. Next, we have learned the variable. What do you mean by variable? That can store, anything that can store a value in programming language is called as a variable. And there are some rules to write a variable. The rules has been written here, and the example also has been written here. So I will not go much deeper about this because already we have completed this. So let us start with today's session, that is understanding something called as basic operators in Python. Okay. So first of all, let me write a text. Okay. So basic operators in Python. And I'll just minimize these. Yes. Okay. First one is called as arithmetic operators. Second one is called as comparison operators. Third one is called as logical operators. And the fourth one is called as assignment operators. Okay, so these are the basic 4 operators we have to learn in Python. So let us start with the first one. The first one is called as arithmetic operators. So just like mathematics, we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, right? But in Python, we have actually 7. So let us understand one by one, which are those. First, let me write a single line comment, that is arithmetic operators. First one is a basic addition. Okay, that is like this, addition. And we know what do you mean by addition, that is plus symbol, right? Very simple. Second one is called as subtraction. We know that, minus. Third one is actually division. Okay, so there is no symbol called as division keyboard, so we'll be using the / to divide anything. Okay, and finally there is a multiplication. So these these arithmetic operators we already know. So if I use a star, this is called as a multiplication. So star is basically used to multiply any 2 terms or any 2 values. So these are the arithmetic operators we already know. What I'll do is I'll write A is equal to 10, B is equal to, let's say, 5. Okay, so these are the 2 variables. So yesterday we have understood what do you mean by variables. So A here is my variable and B is here is my variable. So basically 10 is stored in A, 5 is basically stored in B. So I'll move on to the first one, that is addition. That is sum is equal to A plus B, Very simple. So if you want to print the sum, first of all, I'll print a statement called as sum is, give a comma, then write the variable name, that is sum. Okay. So if you run this, you're able to see sum is 15, which is correct. Next, let us move on to the difference. So difference is equal to A minus B. Same thing, print function, write difference is, and write di, I mean the name of the variable, that is diff. Next one is the division. So let me write division is nothing but quotient. So Q and T, I'll be writing quotient is equal to A divided by B. Print quotient is, and you can mention Q and T. And finally, multiplication. So multiplication will give me the product. So product is equal to A multiplied by B, and print product is, and you can mention what do you mean by variable, that is PROD. Okay, so let us run all these. So sum is 15, difference is 5, quotient is 2.0, product is 50. So I hope everyone got to know how we are getting these values. It's very simple actually. But in Python, I told you there are actually 7 arithmetic operators. There are not 4, there are actually 7. So what is that extra 3? These extra 3s are very, very important. So kindly make sure you understand in the first go. Fifth one is actually your modulus. Okay, there's something called as modulus. This modulus is basically used to find the remainder. So let me give an example. Let me take, let's say, number 1 is equal to 5, number 2 is equal to 2. Okay, now if I divide this, okay, if I divide this, that is, if I want to find the remainder, okay, first of all, let me divide it. So let me find the quotient is equal to number 1 divided by number 2. So can you tell me what will be the quotient here? Quotient quotient is, can anyone tell me what will be the quotient? If I divide 5 by 2, what will be the quotient? I want everyone to reply in the chat box. What will be the quotient if I basically divide 5 by 2? 2.5? Everyone is saying that same thing, right? 2.5. Yes, perfect. So I'm getting the value as 2.5. But is this a whole number? No, it is not a whole number. Basically, we have some remainder there. So can you tell me what will be the remainder if I divide 5 by 2? What will be the remainder I'm asking? Remainder. Remainder is 1. Yes, exactly. Very good. So number 1, if I want to find the remainder, then I'll be using a percentage. Okay, if I want to use a reminder, then I'll be using a percentage. So this percentage is basically acts like a modulus. Okay, this is called as a modulus. Now let's print it. Print, and let us say a reminder is, and you can basically write REM. And now you're able to see remainder is 1, because 5 divided by 2, 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, 1 is remaining. That 1 is being printed here. So this is the additional assignment, I mean the arithmetic operators that we have to learn. Next, after learning this, we have something called as a floor division. So what is this floor division? Again, this is a very important arithmetic operator, and the floor division is mentioned in the double slash. Okay, floor division is mentioned in the double slash, and the remainder, I mean the modulus, is mentioned in the percentage. Okay, so what do you mean by double slash? It's actually very simple. See, I'll be taking the same example, Q and T, but see, Q and T, that is a quotient, it is providing me the value in 2.5, right? It will, I mean, whatever the value is there, it will be it will be giving me the answer in the form of point value. Even if it is a whole number, then also it is giving me the value in the whole number, that is 2, I mean the point value, that is 2.0. But let's say I don't want the point value, I just want to deal with the whole number. Okay, I just want to deal with the whole number, that is 2. Here also, I just want to deal with the whole number, that is 2. Whatever the point value is there, I simply want to ignore that point value. Then we are using something called as a floor division. The same thing, quotient without, let's say, decimal. Okay, quotient without decimal is my variable name, and just use a double slash and print the variable name. So let's see what happens. Are you able to see? Here, quotient we are getting as the 2.5, but in the, sorry, not quotient. Yes, quotient without decimal point. Yes, now let's run it. And you will see quotient is actually 2.5, but quotient without decimal point is 2. So how we are able to achieve that? With the help of the floor division, okay, double slash. Then the last one is called as exponent. So I hope everyone knows what I mean by exponent. That is double star, okay? One asterisk or one star is basically used for multiplication, but double star is used for exponent. So what do you mean by exponent? It's actually, once again, a very simple term. See, exponent is nothing but if I want to find the power of something. For example, let me give, okay, let me write POW is equal to, let me give, if I want to find, let's say 5 square, okay? First of all, I'll mention the base, that is 5. Then mention the asterisk, that is the exponent symbol. Then write 2. This means 5 square, okay? This means, let me write a comment. This means 5 to the power 2, okay? So if I print this, I can find the power. Let me write it. You're able to see I'm getting the value as 25. So 5 square is nothing but 25. So this is how you are supposed to get the exponent. So what we have learned here, basically we have learned all the arithmetic operators, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. After that, 3 more additional things are there that we have to learn. One is your remainder. Next one is quotient without the decimal point, that is the floor division, and your power, that is the exponent. Okay. Any doubts in this? If you have any doubts in this, kindly text me in the chat box. So there again, I have to explain. No. Okay, perfect. No. Okay, no. So you don't have any doubts, right? So we have basically completed with the first operator called as the arithmetic operator. Okay, perfect, guys. Let us move on to the next one. So what's the next one? Comparison operators. But before moving on to the comparison, okay, let us start with the comparison operator itself. So let me write at title comparison operators. See, Subir, floor division is nothing but we are just removing the decimal point. That's it. From the quotient, here you can see 2.5 is there, right? So instead of 2.5, you're just removing that decimal point to get to 2. That's the only purpose of using the floor division. It will just remove the point value. That's it. Clear? Okay, let's move on to the next one. That is comparison operator. So what is a comparison operator? Again, it's a very, very important term that we have to learn. Comparison operator, as the name suggests of the operator, that is, we are basically comparing the value. For example, if I want to check whether the two variables or two numbers are equal or not, then I'll be using a equal to operator, that is double equal to. Okay. Second one is if I want to check whether the two numbers are not equal, then I'll be using a exclamatory mark and equal to. Third one is greater than. We are checking whether the first number is basically greater than the second number. Next, we are finding out greater than or equal to. We are checking the two conditions here. First of all, we are checking whether the number 1 is greater than number 2, or else number 1 should be basically equal to number 2. Next one is lesser than. All these are very, very simple topics. So I hope these are very much clear. Sixth one is lesser than or equal to. Lesser than and equal to. Okay, so let us give some of the examples here. Let me give a is equal. Okay, first of all, let me write ex1. Okay, exercise number 1. So example number 1, we are checking whether 1 is equal to 2. Whether 1 is equal to 2? No. So if I run this, basically I'll be getting the value in the form of true and false. So if I run this, are you able to see? We're getting the output in the form of true and false. So whenever you're using a comparison operator, always you'll be getting the answer in the form of true and false. Now, whether 1 is equal to 2? No. So that is the reason it is giving me the false. So what if 1 is equal to 1? Then it is giving the value as true. So this is how you basically compare the two values. So I hope equal to is very much clear. Let us move on to the next one, where is exercise number 2 is equal to, now we are checking 1 shouldn't be equal to 2. Okay, shouldn't be equal to 2 in a sense, exclamatory mark and equal to, let's say 2. So if I print the value of ex2, whether 1 is equal to 2, no. So we are what we are checking here, 1 shouldn't be equal to 2, which is actually true. So if I run this, you will see I'm getting the true value. But if I give the values are equal, then it is saying that it is false. It is basically equal. That is the reason it is giving me false. Next, greater than ex3. Let me give 5 greater than 3. Whether 5 is greater than 3, yes, it is greater than 3. So it will give me the value as a true, correct? But if I give, let's say 13, now it is giving me the answer as false, correct? ex3. But what happens? What happens if I give basically both the values are same? That is 5 is greater than 5. Whether 5 is greater than 5, no, right? So that is the reason basically it is giving me the value as false. But if I want to check whether the 5 is, I mean, 5 shouldn't be greater than 5, but it should be equal to, then how we are supposed to check? Then we are checking like this. 5 should be greater than or it should be equal to 5. Then we are printing ex4. Then it is giving me the value as true. Here, let me give, let's say here, let me give 15. Yes. Same thing applies for the less than also. Okay, less than and less than equal to. I hope I'll not write that once again. So it is too lengthy to write it once again. So I hope everyone got to know what do you mean by comparison operators. Any doubts in this? Any doubts in this? I want everyone to reply in the chat box. Yes, there is doubts. No, there is no doubts. I want everyone to reply in the chat box. I'll be noting down your attendance through your replies in the chat box. Okay, perfect, guys. So comparison operators is completed. Let's move on to the next one. So which was the next one? Next one is, I think, logical operator, right? Yes, logical operator. So let us start with the logical operator. Logical operator. Okay, so what is this logical operator? See, we have to understand something here. First of all, let me write what are the logical operator. First one is called as logical and. Okay, and it is specified as small case and. Okay, then it is logical or, and it is specified as or, small case. Third one, logical not, and it is termed as not in the small case. So let us give some examples to understand this. See, let me give exercise number 1 is equal to, let me give a condition here. First condition is 1 is basically greater than 2. Okay. And let's say 2 is greater than 1. Can you tell me if I run this program, or let's say if I run this example, what will be my output? What will be my output? Anyone in the chat box? Whether it is true or whether it is false. Whether 1 is greater than 2? No, it is not greater than 2. But 2 is greater than 1, right? So it is true, right? Why it is false? Yes, it is false because if I use the AND operator, okay, if I use the AND operator, basically both the conditions should be true. Okay, if I use, let me write the comment here. If we use AND operator, both conditions should be true. Okay, this is mandatory. Only if both the conditions are true, then only it is providing with the value as true. Now let me give the value as 10. Okay, so 10 is greater than 2. Yes, it is greater than 2 is greater than 1. Yes, it is greater than 1. So it will give me the value as true. Only if both the conditions are true. So that is the reason the AND operator is used. Now this will be used basically in some of the functions or some of the programs. That programs will come to that later. Now I hope everyone knows how to use the AND operator. Same thing applies for the OR operator also. That is, let's mention the same example. That is 10 is greater than 2 or 2 is greater than 1. Okay, 2 is greater than 1. Now, what will be the answer for EX2? Can anyone tell me in the chat box? Yes, everyone is saying that value as true. Yes, it is value is true because 10 is greater than 2, 2 is also greater than 1. But why it is not giving, I mean, let me give, let's say, here 1. Still, it is giving me true. Why? Still, it is giving me true. Why? Because if I use OR operator, any of the one value, if it is true, then the value is true. Okay, if the any of the one condition is true, then the output is true. Let me write it here. If any one condition is true, then the output is true. Okay, so any of the one condition is true, then the output will be true in the OR operator. But what happens in the AND operator? Both the conditions should be true. In the sense, both the condition, it is mandatory to be true, but in the OR operator, if any of the one condition is true, then the output is true. Now let us move on to the exercise number 3, or sorry, example number 3, that is the NOT operator. So what do you mean by NOT operator? See, NOT operator is basically used to convert true into false and false into true. In the sense, if I use not of true, okay, if I use not of true, it will be giving me the output as false because I've used not of true, in the sense inverse of true. But if I use inverse of false, then it will be giving me the, I mean, it will give the value as a true, because I mean, basically it will convert false into true and true into false. That's the only thing that can be done with a not operator. Most of the time will be not using this not operator, but and or operator, this is mandatory to you to understand. Okay, so I hope even the logical operator is very much clear. If you have any doubts in this, kindly make sure you answer the questions right away in the chat box. Is there any doubts? No. Okay, perfect, guys. Very good. Let us move on to the last operator. That is your assignment operator. Assignment operator. So what is this? It's actually very, very simple. Okay, it's actually very, very simple because whatever you have done in the arithmetic operators, okay, whatever you have done in the arithmetic operator, it is exactly the same thing. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just copy the arithmetic operator and let me write it here. Why did I, but what's the difference? Why we are writing assignment operator? See, the only difference is you have to write the assignment after addition, after subtraction, after division, after multiplication, basically after everything. So modulus, assignment, flow division assignment, exponent assignment, everything as 0. And this is actually assignment. Now, if you ask me what is assignment, assignment is nothing but is equal to. Okay, assigning any value to a variable is called as the assignment operator. What happens to the addition assignment? It is plus is equal to, minus is equal to, division is equal to, star is equal to, everything basically is equal to. But what is the use of this? Let me make sure you understand this in the first go. See, it's very simple. Let me write ex1 is equal to, let's say 5. So what we have done here, basically, we have mentioned, or we have basically assigned 5 to ex1. So by which operator we have assigned? By using the assignment operator. Basically, you are using the equal to, that is called as the assignment operator. So if I run this, I'll be getting the value as 5, which is very simple. Now let me move on to the next one, where let me mention ex2 is equal to, let's mention, okay, let me mention ex1 only. Ex1 is equal to ex1 plus 5. Now, if I print the value of ex1, can you tell me what will be the new value? I'll just comment this. Okay. Can you tell me what will be the new value? See, ex1 was 5. Ex1 is equal to ex1 plus 5. So this ex1 is already 5. So 5 plus 5 is nothing but 10, right? So if I run this, you're able to see I'm getting the value as 10. But instead of writing ex1 is equal to ex1 plus 5, there is one more method to write it. So what I'll do, I'll just comment this. And before this, let me mention ex1. Now mention the assignment operator, that is plus is equal to, and directly mention the value, that is 5. So what happened? Basically, if you, instead of writing ex1 is equal to the same variable plus the value, you're mentioning ex1 directly addition assignment and the value. It is exactly the same thing. You're able to see, I'm getting the exact same answer. So same thing will be applied for the, what is that? Subtraction assignment, same thing for the division assignment, multiplication, modulus, floor, exponent, everything. So let me mention one more example for, uh, let's say, multiplication assignment. Okay, so let me mention ex2 is equal to 10. And in the next line, let me mention ex2 is equal to ex2 multiplied by 10. Or let's say multiplied by 5. Print the value of ex2. Can you tell me what will be the value here? What will be the value? ex2 was 10, right? 50, perfect. You're able to see I'm getting the value as 50. So same thing, if I wanted to mention with the help of a multiplication assignment, how can I do that? ex2 multiply is equal to and mention the value. You're able to see I'm getting the same answer, right? So this is the example for some of the